Hey guys, and welcome to yet another episode of It's About Time. I'm your host Drew, and I'm flying solo tonight because Jared is at his mother-in-law's birthday party, so he will not be joining me tonight. And basically, let me first apologize. We were supposed to have an episode last week airing about what a watch means to you, and that was originally done at AMC Rockaway Theater, but the audio, we couldn't hear anything once I played it back, so we decided not to release that episode. That'll be re-aired next week when we have Jared and Dave back, so we can talk about his big announcement and, again, re-release that episode. But for tonight's episode, our entire episode is actually about what's on the wrist. It's usually a sub-segment of the show, but tonight we're actually going to go fully into what is on my wrist, because that's my episode. Basically, this is something that Jared doesn't even know about. This was done in secret this week. I added a new watch into my collection, and it is a Jaeger LeCoultre, or JLC, however you'd like to refer to it as. And so without further ado, I'm going to show you tonight's feature. And tonight's feature is the JLC Dualmatic Compressor Edition. Okay, this is one of their flagship pieces. I'd say it came out within the last 10 years. It's still around today. Its primary face is a black dial, and what it is known for, we're going to get into the unique features of this dual timer and how it tells two different time zones, because as you can see right now, it's only showing one. So basically, a little couple dimensions of this watch, specifications of it. It is a 41 millimeter watch. If you were to include the two stems, okay, it's going to be about 47. However, it's uniquely designed where these stems do not come out, as most watches do, right at the 3 o'clock hour, because what they did was they noticed that it would dig into your wrist, as most watches do, at the 3 o'clock hour. So they basically have them at the 2 and the 4 o'clock hour to prevent that from happening, because they knew having these would make it larger, and they didn't want to affect the wrist point. So they put it on an angle so you wouldn't have that problem. So that's one nice unique feature about it. Another interesting feature, whenever you deal with JLC and you get into their higher end models, such as the Compressor Edition, they're going to have what is called the Master Control feature. And the Master Control feature means it's been tested for 1,000 hours, and that's for a variety of things: water resistance, accuracy, pressure, shock resistance. It goes on and on and on. What a watch can withstand and what it can't hold. And so this has been tested. Again, this is a chronometer, so right now it is currently running between 3 and 4 seconds fast a day, which is totally fine with me. If you wanted to get one of these pieces, let's talk about price for just a second. Brand new, they're anywhere between 10 and 13,000 on the open market. If you were to go on eBay or any of the secondary sites and you wanted to get them pre-owned, they're going to run you anywhere between $5,500 and $7,500. So they do hold pretty decent value. And another unique piece on the back of the watch, you can see it has the double fold clasp as well. And if you look at the back of the watch over here, you will see that gold medallion representing the 1,000 hours of testing. That is solid gold. So that is a very unique piece, and it is JLC's stamp of saying we've tested this in every way possible. Okay, so let me get into the actual function of this piece, which is really cool. And for that, I'm going to have to go behind the camera and show it to you personally, because if I don't, it's a little bit too confusing if you were to buy one of these watches. So let's show you how to set the dual time on this watch. Okay, so here we are. Now here is the watch, okay, close up. Alright, now you see the watch, you see the black dial over here. You do have the Arabic numerals, 12. The date represents the 3. You have the 6 and you have the 9. The first thing I want to let you guys know about this piece that you may not realize is it does not have a quick set date feature. This has a quick hour feature. And it has to have the quick hour feature because of how it tells the dual time zones. Okay, my Omega 8500 constellation had this same feature. Normally everybody is used to quick sets. This is not a quick set piece, it is a quick hour piece. If you were to move this back and forth from the 9 to the 3, you can change the days both backwards and forwards, and it will not affect the movement. So that is a really cool feature about it too. I do wish it was quick set, but I understand why it has to be quick hour. So with that being said, what happens here to unlock this watch is a little bit different. Most watches have screw down crowns because they are the most effective and cost-cutting way to seal a watch out from water. This one has what we call a twist lockdown crown, which is not something you find very often, but it is pretty cool. So what you would basically do is you're going to turn this 180 degrees until it stops. Okay, and as I do that, it unlocks the watch, both from the front, both from the top and the bottom. Okay, so now they're both unlocked. The top stem up here, when I pull it out, serves one function and one function only. It is to rotate this bezel on top, and this is for a diving feature. If you go underwater, you want to know when it's time to come up. So the most common thing is they set it for 15 minutes, so you know how much air is left in the tank. Again, if you then push that in and you turn, it locks it into place, which again seals the water right out. So now that we will do the total opposite, we will set it right back. You pull it out once again. Okay, and we will bring this back to normal. It's a unidirectional bezel, so you can set it both forwards and backwards, which is really cool. And there we go. And we're going to lock that down. So that is what the top function is for. Let's go to the bottom function, and this is where we get really, really interesting. Okay, when I pull it out once, what you're going to see happen is where this turns from a regular timer into a dual timer. I'm going to go backwards with this watch. Look what happens. Okay, as soon as I move it one revolution backwards, it moves an hour backwards, but there's another hand underneath it, and that's the hand that tells your current time. This front hand is meant to tell the time zone you're currently at. Okay, so if I'm going to California, again, I have to move it back another 2 clicks, and what we currently have, it would be 8:27. This does not stop the current time. Okay, as you can see from the subdial over here, it's still running. I would have to pull this out another click to stop the actual current time. Okay, and that would actually move everything as well. But for this instance, just for the dual timer feature, okay, we're going back to the fact that, again, now it shows the dual time zones, which I was just talking about. And if I want to bring it back to one time zone, I bring it 3 clicks forward, and again, it's going to hide and go right over that piece, and it goes right back to your current time zone. You would then click it back in, and then you turn it 180 degrees to seal it, and then all of a sudden you're back to having your sealed diver's piece ready to go. You just have to remember to turn 180 degrees to lock these in. And again, you do have on the hour markers your luminescence, as well as the 12:369, as well as the minute feature and the hour hand. So this does give you nice illumination as well underwater. Obviously, if it's going to be a dive piece for JLC's version of it, you're going to have that. So that's what I wanted to show you tonight of the JLC Dualmatic compressor model watch. A really, really unique way to tell dual time zones, especially when you go on vacation. And when you're done with vacation, you can just bring it back to the regular time zone. And what I really like about it, like I said, you can tell it both from the analog movement and the numeric movement right here as well, because it does have that feature that you can tell just a regular time. If you like reading numbers better, it's right there. If you like reading hour markers better, you can do that as well. So it's a really unique compromise JLC put together within the last 10 years on this model that I think will really be an attention grabber to anybody who does pick up this kind of watch. Because again, these are meant to last for generations, and like with anything else, you still have to service them, but they're a really, really cool piece, which I'm really looking forward to adding into my collection. This particular model is running about 3 to 4 seconds fast a day, which is well within chronometer standards. And again, I thank everybody for joining me tonight as I showed you how to use the JLC Dualmatic compressor model. And stay tuned for another episode coming up on Saturday night with me, Jared, and Dave. And I will see you next time on another episode of It's About Time.